Hi everybody, it's Kiara. How are you all doing? Number one, let me apologize. My son is in the other room. We are in a much different location, as you can see. I'm gonna bring you along on an embroidery journey. In my last quilt tube, I talked to you about making a tree skirt and wanted to do more embroidery, but I have to bring everything into my kitchen. Well, I brought everything into my kitchen, so I said, I'll bring you around. So I'm making a tree skirt. It's from Designs by Juju. I am by no means an expert embroiderer, even though I've been doing it for years. Just hold on. Jimmy, calm down, please. You might hear that a lot today, so I'm very sorry. Let me take my hair down. So that's what's going on. So I went through my list and I have to make the middle pieces and I have 13 more of them to do. Well, I'm gonna show you real life. I haven't used my embroidery machine in a while. And I was going to change colors and I was rearranging my thread and I must have hit something and I got guck all over my piece. Thankfully, we weren't too far in, so this is gonna be trashed and we're gonna start this over. I am not going to show you the entire thing here because this is a 19,000, this has 19,000 stitches in it. It's going to get very loud and I'm not the best. Though I may save this for my daughter tomorrow to edit, but then I might just give it to you raw because I do remember kind of how to take sound out. So this is a diamagnetic hoop. This is a 5x7 one. I have this and I have a couple hoops. So number one, I'll have to take that one apart, but I already have another hoop. I try to have two hoops ready to go at all times. This is one of my embroidery machines. My other one I put away. This is a Brother NQ14000E. It is an embroidery only. It goes up to a 6x10 hoop. And I was wrong yesterday when I said that I was doing this in the 6x10 frame. I am doing this in the 5x7. And I'll be honest, these take a lot of thread. Okay, so I have to start. I've already reset the machine up. I have right here, don't get sick, I have a 10 spool thread thing, and then I have an 11th that I'm using for my background colors that I'm gonna stitch over in the machine. And the funny thing is my 10 spool was all set up for this project, which is part of the reason I wanna get it done, because I really like using that for larger projects, and I have a few that I want to do. Okay, so first we have to do our placement stitch. And if you want a full tutorial about this, Becky from Power Tools with Thread has awesome embroidery tutorials, and she's actually done a few of them for Designs by Juju. So I'm not gonna really give you anything, and I'm using the colors I choose. When doing embroidery, you can always use whatever colors you want. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a couple of things, okay? Because this is like the hardest part right here, is getting it ready to go. And then we do our placement. And after I do my, for the batting, because this is actually quilted. After I assemble it, I'm going to have to quilt it. Just so the backing doesn't come for the tree skirt doesn't come away. I have to cut the thread. This is really a great little machine. I originally started embroidering with an SC400, which was a 4x4, and I outgrew it so fast. And then I bought a PE 770, and I do believe they still make a version of that. I know that there's a Disney one that you can get. That's a 5x7. The biggest advice that was given to me, and I wish I had listened to it. Now, hold on, guys. I'm looking for something. Oh, here. Okay. Next, we're going to put our fabric that our embroidery design is going to go on. And one thing they recommend for these designs is, and I had been embroidering for a long time before I saw this on Becky from Power Tools with Thread, is that you put SF101 on the back and it prevents puckering. And it really does. So now we're doing our third tack down, because that means we had our placement, then we had our, I'll show you. Actually, this is probably easier to show you if you're new. We originally started with this. This is a tack down, and this is no-show mesh. Then we put our batting on it and put that placement down so that this is adhered. Now we're going to put our fabric down that we're going to put our design on. And I have a couple of these that I want to make. I bought a couple of them. Okay, so here's our third one. Okay. So I also ran into a problem. I don't know where this fabric is that I have for my background. So what I am going to do is I'm going to stitch. I have 9 pieces left, but I have 13 left to go. So, and there were 15 total. So when I have 8 completed with this background, if I can't find mine, I'm just gonna take another white and do the other 7 in that and alternate them. And for thread, I am using an assortment of Glide, Metro, Sigma, and Marathon. I actually do need to buy thread. It's been so many years. And when I was starting embroidery, okay, we have to change our colors. When I was starting embroidery, I used all rayon, but for these kind of projects, rayon isn't the best. So I have to convert. I'm thinking of going to Glide, but I don't know. My husband's outside mowing the lawn, so that's why I decided to do this project, because I have to stay where I can see my son or hear him and be able to check on him, because if you've been around here a while, you know that he has issues. He's profoundly autistic, he's nonverbal, he also suffers from seizures, and in May, when we went to Waco for my daughter's graduation, on the way home, he suffered a cardiac event, which we are going to be having an ablation on the 20th. So we like to be in the vicinity at all times. So like if I'm quilting, my husband is usually with him, or I am before this heart thing, I would spend a few minutes, like I would cut things or things. So, and since I actually have to go into work tomorrow, yes, you heard that, I have to go into work tomorrow. I took a new position in the school, and I'm gonna go meet the teacher I'm gonna be working with and help her any way I can. And then on Wednesday, I think they have meet the teacher, and they asked me if I wanted to come. So I will be doing that. So I'm going into work twice this week. So my summer vacation came to a little bit earlier. So one of the things I'm also doing this week is getting a bunch of projects together. And this it's not too bad. This design only has 16 color changes, and it says all roads lead home for Christmas. So the only thing is I usually have a sheet with how many stitches each design has, and I don't have that right now. Oh wait, no, I have the big number, but I usually have how many stitches are in each color, and I didn't do that today. One thing I want to learn how to do eventually when I get enough money and I'm gonna buy this Embrilliance. Becky from Power Tools with Thread has a lot of, she like swears by it. And I'm gonna do it because you can arrange your color when you're doing this, where you're using all the same colors at one time. And I think that would be a little bit easier, but it's okay, not a big deal. So after this color, I'll show you where we are. So I can't even show you how much it is. This one has quite a bit, but I'm gonna go, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let this go, and then I'm gonna show you, I'll come back when I'm closer to the end so I can show you the finished product. And my goal is to do 3 of these today, so, and that way I at least feel like I'm being productive. So this one's almost done with this color. It's got a truck in it. This one's got a truck. This is called this is the Farmhouse tree skirt, and let me show you in case you want it. And I'll put a link below. So like I said last time, I have done all these inner pieces and all the outer pieces. So I'm doing these in the middle right now, and I have 2 done. This will be my 3rd, and I'm actually almost to where I was. I also have to go through and find all my embroidery tools. Luckily, I was able to find my my SF 101 because I bought some more the other day because I wanted to make something. But I have some tools and stuff I use, and I couldn't find all my 5x7 hoops. I could only find 2. I have 3. Actually, I probably have 4, because when I used to sew clothes, I put embroidery designs on them, and I usually used to have 2 or 3 embroidery machines. I used to have 2 embroidery machines going at all time, and then I had a sewing machine and a serger. And when I lived in New York, I had these beautiful tables, but I had them. And I only brought one of my tables with me, and it wasn't the best table because we actually left a lot of our, okay. Now I just ran into a problem because I didn't realize, I didn't realize that my needle didn't thread. So I just pulled that out. Sorry about that, guys. I had to go put out a minor fire, and I had to check, I got my mail, so I had to do a couple things. Okay, so we're on step 9. We're gonna start step 9 of 16, and this has all been on this truck, and we're at 4,000 stitches. I have to cut my jump threads. The only thing about this machine that's not my favorite is that it doesn't cut the jump threads. But when I bought this machine, probably 2018 or 2019, could have even been 2017. I'm not really sure, but I had a bunch of orders for dresses, okay? And my bigger machine that I had been using broke and had to go in for service. And I couldn't have a machine that wouldn't work. So I was able to get my customers orders out, and I ordered this machine because this was not a machine that my brother Deal had carried in stock. I'm just trying to cut a thread, guys. That's why I'm not looking at you. Actually, let me take my glasses off. And that was not really safe, what I just did with the scissor in my hand. Especially since these are Karen K. Buckley scissors, and her scissors are super sharp. And my little one's coming out of her room because I can hear her. Okay. can do that. Okay, and now we have to change colors. So I was saying I had to, again, so they ordered this machine for me, and it's been a great little machine. I like that it's embroidery only. I wish it had a bigger hoop, and I wish that they made bigger hoops. Oh, we already used this color, so that's good. I wish they made bigger hoops in standalone machines. If I upgrade from this machine, I've got to get a dual machine. And I sew on a straight stitch machine, and I didn't even buy the most expensive straight stitch machine. Okay, I have a Juki TL 2000 QI because I didn't need a machine that had a rabbit or a turtle on it. I control my speed with my foot, and that's how I learned to sew. So I also feel like it puts me in more control of the machine. So I'm gonna do this last step with you, and then I might film some video of the machine going, and then I'll come back towards the end of the design. But I like this. This was kind of fun chatting with you while this is going on. Like they say, the design is 30 minutes, but it takes a lot more because you have to, if you run into issues, you have to cut the jump threads. You could wait to the end to cut the jump threads, but I don't recommend it. And a lot of times, like right now, this just jumped. So I'm gonna cut it at this end, and then when it moves, okay, actually, so you have to see what this next design is. But the thing is, I would like a bigger one because they have a bigger screen you can see too, which is why a lot of times I print out my PDFs on a design. This is like a goldish tan. Okay, I know what I'll use. I have a goldies tan right here. So this is number 3. So, but no, I like embroidery sometimes, but I really want to finish this because I think this would be fun. So the rest of my goals, I was talking, I have to go to work this week. So the rest of my goals this week are to get some stuff prepped so that like in the evenings I can do a couple things. Okay, carrot at 3. Okay. Oh, I'm gonna have to clean this one up a little bit. Oh, not too bad. I'll just have to trim something. So I will be back in a little bit towards the end of the design. I have a great, actually looking at this, I'll show you this. Hold on. I got the truck done. I'm gonna have to clean up a couple threads, but I think I'm gonna, oh no, that worked, okay. And this project is pretty much for me. Okay, so let me show you. And I think I have something in my machine making yuck. Okay, because I have a spot on here. And this fabric had no spots. So wait. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get it, before I put this back, I'm gonna get a rag and clean it. So I will be back in a little bit, show you what's going on with this and show you my first piece done. I don't know if I'm gonna get 3 done today, but I'm gonna get a couple. So I will talk to you all soon. Bye. Hi everybody, we're back. We're on the last step, the last color change. And when I pull this out of the machine, you're gonna realize I stopped trimming colors because my light in this room is not as good as the light in my sewing room. So I will take these, oh God, I look like a hot mess. I will take these into my sewing room to clean them up in the end. Plus, I have to find one of my trimmer that I use for this. And I did actually find my list with all the colors on them. But I'm kind of using greens, golds, reds. Christmas. So what I'll do is when I go clean up the threads, I have a tweezer and I'll use the scissors and get close and it'll look pretty good. But this actually came out pretty nice. There was one thing I would change, but I'm not going to redo the 19,000 stitches for this. And I'll show you when it's done what I would change. Oh, okay, we're gonna have to go back. Wait. Okay, my thread started treading. I will show you. It started shredding. Something on this machine somewhere that's providing dirt. Hold on, excuse me. I'm so sorry. We had another emergency. My husband found a wasp nest. And being from New York like we are, we don't really generally know what to do with them, but we got rid of it. I was scared he was gonna get stung. So I finished our first one. I actually started another one. This one's actually only 7 colors and it's 24 minutes. So I'm gonna let this one go after. So here is the finished product. I'm gonna go cut all those jump threads later on when I go into my sewing room. And I gotta find my trimmer by George because I have to cut all this and I don't know where it is, and the trimmer by George makes it so much easier. So thanks for hanging out with me and I will talk to you all soon and I hope you enjoyed that. Bye bye.